This is Captain Paul Lewis from Fast Action Fishing Adventures. I wanted to take a minute to show you a few of my favorite spots to target coastal cutthroat trout here on Lake Sammamish during the winter time. This is a great fishery during the winter months. It's often very productive, which is a warm welcome for most of the other fishing around the state, especially on the western side of the state, during this time. So don't put your poles in storage and your boat away. Make sure that you keep it out. Don't winterize it quite yet, and definitely give Lake Sammamish a go. So to start, let's look at where to launch your boat. The boat launch is located here at the Lake Sammamish State Park on the east side of the park. The entrance to the boat launch is separate from the actual entrance to the state park, and it's here on East Lake Sammamish Parkway. It's a great launching site, fantastic facility, whole bunch of docks, it's paved, it's great parking. It costs $7 with your Discover Pass or $17 without, so make sure you bring your Discover Pass. So now that you've launched your boat, what I like to do when I fish Lake Sammamish during the winter time is start as far north as I consider fishing for the day and work my way down. So my first spot is up here. I call this spot the North Shore. I usually don't fish in this little furthest north section of the lake during the winter time, as it's a bit shallower than I like to fish for the most part, and I have a little bit more success here in the main body of the lake, although I do hear of fishermen having great success up in here. So definitely give it a try if these other spots aren't working out for you. But for my favorite spots on the lake, where I like to start is here. I call this spot the North Shore. And what I do is I start in 65 feet of water, and I zigzag almost from shoreline to shoreline until I reach about 80 feet of water out here in the middle. If I find fish, what I do is I stay on those fish. I never leave fish to find fish. So make sure if you find the fish, you stay with them and just do circles in that point, in that spot. If the North Shore is not working out for you too well, the next spot that I go to is called Sulphur Springs Point. It's right here. And at Sulphur Springs Point, what I do is I come down about a mile, kind of from the start here, down about a mile past these two coves right here. And I stay pretty close to shore on these spots as it drops off pretty quick. I fish in 75 to 80 feet of water, which is anywhere from 200 feet to 200 yards off those docks, but it is fairly close to shore compared to fishing out in the middle like we do at the North Shore. And do your S-turns, do a few patterns in here, and as soon as you find those fish, again, stay right on them. Don't do your whole troll if you're only catching fish, only at the bottom of that troll right here. This is another great spot to catch some quality fish. Fish it the same way. I fish all these spots on the lake the exact same way, which we'll go over just in a little bit here at the end of the video. So if this spot, Sulphur Springs, is not working out for you, the third spot that I try is the Weather Buoy. The Weather Buoy is probably the most famous spot to fish Lake Sammamish coastal cutthroat trout. It's very common among all anglers. If you talk to someone who fishes this lake regularly, they will tell you about the Weather Buoy. It's a time-tested, constant producer of fish. It's a really great place to fish. If you're new to the lake and trying to figure out spots, I definitely recommend that you come to the Weather Buoy first out of all the other spots that I've mentioned. So when you get to the Weather Buoy, what I'd recommend you do is start fairly close to the Weather Buoy and just slowly work your way out, just in a circle pattern. You can do some S-turns, switch your direction of course, but start close and work your way out until you find those fish. I can almost guarantee that there will be fish in this area that are willing to bite almost during any time of the year. Lastly, if the Weather Buoy is not working out for you, or Sulphur Springs, or the North Shore, what I like to try is just right here at the mouth of the Issaquah Creek. The reason for this is the coastal cutthroat trout will mix in and trail behind the salmon run that happens coming up to the Issaquah Creek here, then the salmon spawn at the Issaquah Salmon Hatchery. So once these salmon enter the creek and get ready to spawn, these coastal cutthroat trout kind of hold here at the end of the lake, and they'll stack up and they create a really great opportunity for casting for these fish if you don't prefer trolling or fishing bobbers with worms or plunking from the bottom. This is a great place to fish as it's not that deep. You can kind of catch fish anywhere from 40 to 60 feet in this area. Pretty common. It's a nice sandy bottom, so you don't need to worry about snags. So if you are not trolling, this is a really great place to go. Another great time to target the coastal cutthroat trout at the mouth of the Issaquah Creek is when the salmon fry are leaving the hatchery and coming into the main body of the lake. These coastal cutthroat trout will just sit at the mouth of the Issaquah Creek and gorge themselves on the salmon fry entering the lake. And this is a really great time to catch some of the lake's largest fish, the highest quality fish, those above 20, exceeding 4-pound fish. Again, if you want to fish the weather buoy up here and you don't have a big boat, something with the horsepower to get you all the way from the boat launch here up to the weather buoy, a great place to start your day is again the Issaquah Creek. Or if you want to fish the weather buoy, what you can do is launch here at Vasa Park Resort. This is a great place to launch. However, most days they don't open until I believe 9 o'clock in the wintertime. Their fee is $12 to launch a full-size boat. However, usually for kayaks and float tubes or rafts, stuff like that, they only charge you the park fee, which is $4. So those are my favorite spots to target Lake Sammamish cutthroat trout during the winter months. Let's take a quick second to talk tactics. When you fish during the winter, most of the cutthroat trout are in the top 20 feet of the water column. So you don't have to go very deep at all, meaning that you don't need to use your downriggers if you have them. You can, of course, if you want to be exact with your depth, but it's very great fishing even if you just flat line out the back using monofilament as your main line, just regular fishing line. There's no need to add weight. Usually your dodger or your lure adds enough weight to sink it going 1.4 to 2 miles an hour. These fish during the winter actually feed on a hatch of bugs called midges on the surface of the lake. And another great way to tell where to start your fishing is following birds. So seagulls and other waterfowl on the lake will feed on these midges, the hatch of bugs on the surface of the lake, just like the trout. So if you see a whole big group or flock of birds sitting on top of the water, definitely troll through there. That's a great indicator to where these fish will be. So that's it from my experience fishing the lake and guiding the lake, growing up on the lake. It's having fished this lake for almost 20 years now, I haven't been able to find spots that have worked better for me quite yet, but I'm always looking for more spots and I will share them as soon as I find them. I'd love to take you out fishing if you'd like to book a trip with me. My company again is Fast Action Fishing Adventures. My website is fastactionfishingseattle.com, and here you'll find our home page with our specials and a couple of great videos that I did in collaboration with Northwest Fishing Reports and the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, also highlighting this winter coastal cutthroat trout fishery. It's a very great fishery, and both of these videos are full of knowledge and tactics and great spots to get you out on the water and get you on fish faster. If you want to book a trip with me, my book your trip information is here. Email me at paul@fastactionfishingseattle.com or give me a phone call at 425-753-5772. While you're on the website, make sure to check out the photo gallery. It's updated regularly. So give it a check and make sure that you stop by the website, say a quick hello, call if you have any questions about fishing the lake. I'm happy to help answer them to get you on the fish faster. For Fast Action Fishing Adventures, this is Captain Paul Lewis. Tight lines to you and good times on the water. Good luck and good fishing.